Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Week in the World of Football. This is episode number 254 for July 26, 2022. I'm your host, Randy Snow. On today's show, Arizona quarterback Kyler Murray signs a new contract extension, and the XFL announces their 8 cities for the 2023 season. In this week's history lesson, we tell the story of the time when the Incredible Hulk donned the uniform of the CFL's Toronto Argonauts. But I'm not here by myself. Across the table from me, as always, is my son Adam.
Oh my gosh, are we going to talk comic book stuff today? Like, we could talk all about
a little bit.
Comic-Con last weekend, all the big announcements. Man, you want to talk about Hulk? We could talk about She-Hulk. We could talk about the new Avengers movies they announced. We could talk about, wow, you're not going to stop me? I could keep going.
Focus, son. Focus.
Okay, well, we're here to talk nerd stuff, right?
This is football talk.
Oh, football. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
We come to you each week from the World of Football Man Cave, located right here in the center of the football world, Kalamazoo, Michigan. We're here to promote the game of football in all its many forms, past, present, and future. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain our listeners with the glorious buffet that is the world of football. All this while keeping a close eye on the rich history of the game. Thanks for checking out our podcast. We'd love to get your feedback on one of our many platforms: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube, where we post the entire audio portion of this show, as well as other selected videos. In fact, we did one just last night. We posted a video.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that later. So let's begin today's show with Adam and the World of Football scoreboard.
That's right. We're going to start things off with Week 7 of the Canadian Football League season. Man, I can't believe we're 7 weeks in.
Yeah.
And every single game this week was either a really good game or had something very significant happen during it. So let's get to those. We had a doubleheader on Thursday night, the first of which saw the Montreal Alouettes defeat the Ottawa Redblacks in a shootout 40-33. How about that?
Yeah.
Ottawa jumped out to an 11-0 lead in the first half, but Montreal responded with 18 unanswered points. It was a back-and-forth game the rest of the way. In the closing minutes, though, it was Ottawa wide receiver Darvin Adams who dropped a sure touchdown pass in the end zone that could have tied the game, and Montreal eventually held on for the win. Ottawa's still looking for their first win on the season. And then of note, quarterback Trevor Harris of the Montreal Alouettes threw for 341 yards and 2 touchdowns. It is probably the standout performance from that game. So.
Yeah. Oh, that Darvin Adams. I mean, he was
heartbreaking.
Did you see that play?
I did.
He was so wide open in the end zone. Nobody was around him.
Should have had it.
It was right in his hands, and he just couldn't bring it down. And
you hate to see it.
I felt so bad for him because, that was the turning point in the game. I mean, that was late in the game, but had he caught that, they would have been down by 1. They could have tied it up, or maybe gone for 2. Who knows what would have happened? But it didn't happen, and I felt really bad for him because. That's a terrible way to end a game.
Right. You know who doesn't feel bad? Tim Capper, because his Alouettes got a win.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right, moving on. Also Thursday night, that second part of the doubleheader, the British Columbia Lions defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats 17-12. So a closer game, but a close one nonetheless. The Lions got back on the winning track after their loss to Winnipeg 2 weeks ago and having a bye last week. So Hamilton, however, had a chance at the end of this game, but it was a Hail Mary pass that was intercepted as time expired that sealed that up for them.
Yep.
British Columbia quarterback Nathan Rourke threw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Hamilton quarterback Dane Evans threw for 297 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, you can see the quarterbacks were pretty even through the whole game. I think Nathan Rourke was just a little bit better. I mean, a little bit sharper.
And he's come a long way the last couple of years since he stepped onto the field in the CFL. I think last year was his first year.
I thought he was a rookie this year.
Was it this year?
Maybe he was. I don't remember him last year.
I'm already mixing up last year and this year.
Yeah.
I could have swore Rourke was a quarterback last year. I could be wrong. I thought British Columbia had a young quarterback last year that they were kind of starting to roll out. Maybe I could be thinking of a different team. But regardless, very excited for British Columbia.
Yeah, he looks really good. His only blemish on the season was that loss to Winnipeg, and that was
that's the only blemish for that whole team.
Yeah, everybody's got a blemish on the record thanks to Winnipeg this year.
Besides that, did you see the billboards, like the billboard fight between Winnipeg and Saskatchewan?
I think I saw one of them.
Oh, apparently it's a thing. It's a thing they do, and this is great. If you get a chance, find that on Twitter. It was like always dissing the other team, or I saw one. It was a billboard saying Saskatchewan or Winnipeg's great, and everything in Saskatchewan is backwards. And this is from years ago. It looked like, and it was when the Blue Bombers were like 7-2, and then the Rough Riders were 2-7. So it was a pretty funny billboard. So I'd love to hear more. If anybody like lives there and experiences that billboard like more often, I would love to see more of this. I want to hear more about this billboard.
Yeah, we want to know more.
You could turn it into a history lesson.
Could be.
Anyway, moving on. Speaking of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they got an easy victory over the Edmonton Elks, 24-10. But the big story here for us is a story we covered a couple weeks ago, and that is this game was broadcast in the Cree language, and no, not the Cree from the Marvel movies, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, this is the indigenous people Cree language.
Yes.
And I was a little disappointed. I was looking at several sites today, and I was hoping to find an excerpt, a few plays with the audio from the Cree language.
I'm surprised you couldn't find anything.
I could not find anything. And I said last week that I wanted to maybe, when the game was going on, log into one of their 2 radio stations up there and maybe catch a little bit of the broadcast. I forgot totally to do that, but I was hoping that maybe on the CFL website they would have, a little 2-minute, 3-minute video of the guys in the booth or wherever they were from, watching the game and speaking their language,
right.
just to get a feel for it, because I think that's pretty cool that they did that, and maybe they'll do some more. Hopefully
I hope so.
Do a couple
That's
a year,
really cool.
maybe eventually they'll do all of them every year.
I love to see more of this. I know there's a new movie coming out on Hulu, which is like a new Predator movie, but it's going straight to Hulu, and that's going to be, you can dub it or you can play the dubbing from the Native American language. I forget if it's Comanche or what. Some language that I don't think has ever been on film before. They're going to actually have a dubbing of that. So instead of listening to the actors speaking English, you can play the Native American language because it takes place in like the 1700s. And so like that actually might be cool. It's like their perspective fighting a predator.
That would be interesting.
Two of the greatest things
with English subtitles.
Yeah, with English subtitles, but you're
the
hearing
way you like to watch Japanese.
I like to watch any foreign movie. I mean, one of my favorite movies.
Hear their language, and
one of my favorite movies is a French movie, and I will never, ever, ever use the American or the English dub for that ever.
I don't like to read movies.
I know you don't. But there's certain movies like what about The Raid? The Raid 2, 2 of the greatest action movies of all time. I refuse to listen to the American. Well, okay, I can't say refuse because actually my buddy played the English dub when I was hanging out with him, but I prefer the subtitles. Anyway, moving on.
What would a kung fu movie be without the actors' lips not matching up to what the audio is?
And what would this podcast be without a tangent that doesn't involve football whatsoever?
Oh, that's right. We were talking about a game.
Yes,
here.
we were. Right. Okay, I guess I'll have to start over. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers defeated the Edmonton Elks 24-10. We talked about the fact that this was broadcast in the Cree language. Good for them. That's awesome.
Yep.
Don't go on a tangent, Adam. This is the 11th straight home loss for Edmonton, dating back 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while since they won a game at home.
Man, oh man, that's rough. That's getting to Lions and Jaguars territory there from the NFL.
Yeah, those poor fans up there. Hopefully they'll get a win here soon.
Gosh, I hope so. Because they seem like a great group of fans. Yeah. Anyway, Winnipeg kicker Sergio Castillo made a 52-yard field goal in the first quarter. Elks quarterback Taylor Cornelius was sacked 5 times in the game. Oof. And then the Blue Bombers now, of course, remain the only unbeaten team in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, it's hard to win a game when your quarterback's being sacked all the time. And
Hold on. We saw a game in the NFL where Joe Burrow got sacked like 11 times, and they still won that game against the Titans.
True.
So it can be done, but it is tough to overcome.
Sure.
All right, and finally, in the game of the weekend, in my humble opinion, because I wish I would have finished this game, but...
we started watching this.
I caught most of the first half, then I had to go to bed. Second half, though, apparently missed some good stuff. The Toronto Argonauts defeated the Saskatchewan Roughriders 31-21. The game was moved back one day from Saturday due to COVID, which I did not realize.
Yeah, there was an outbreak of COVID on the Saskatchewan team.
Okay, was that why?
The league let them move the game back a day.
Okay, I did not know that. Yep. At the end of the first half, which we were watching, Saskatchewan... it wasn't Saskatchewan kicker. It was Toronto kicker Boris Beattie attempted a 61-yard field goal that went wide right, but it was returned 112 yards by Saskatchewan. I don't know if he's a defensive back, what position he was, a return man. Anyway, returned by Mario Alford, 112 yards for the touchdown to close out the first half. Yeah. What a turnaround that was, because the score was...
it was close.
It was like 14-9 or something like that, maybe. No, it was like 11. It was 11-9, I think, because then Saskatchewan got the touchdown, went up 15-11 going into the half, and they missed the 2-point conversion, which was intercepted by Toronto, and we thought Toronto might return that to get the 2 points, but it didn't happen. But late in the game, Alford was returning another punt with under a minute to play, and he fumbled the ball. It was recovered by Toronto and ran in for the score, ensuring the win. So heartbreaking defeat there for Saskatchewan when they had a little bit of hope there.
Yeah, that was after you went to bed, so you didn't see that play.
I saw the highlight, though.
Oh, did you see
it was fantastic because Toronto was still up, but you could tell if Saskatchewan got the ball back, they could go down and score.
Yeah, they were up by 3 points.
Yeah, but scooping and scoring that, sealed the victory for Toronto.
Sure did.
Argos quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson, the greatest name in Canadian football right now, threw for 336 yards and 2 touchdowns. Andrew Harris became the first Canadian-born running back to surpass the 10,000-yard rushing mark in a career. He becomes just the 6th player in CFL history to do so. We watched that happen live.
Yep.
He carried the ball 26 times during the game. 26 times during the game. Let me say that again. For 143 yards. And
that's a great
heck of a milestone for the dude.
NFL. I mean, for the CFL where they don't run a lot.
Yeah.
He really had a whale of a game.
Good for him, becoming the 6th guy all time to do it. The first Canadian born to do it. It's a big deal. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to Toronto on the win.
Yep.
And then on bye, the Calgary Stampeders this week, and then next week they will play at home against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, 7-0 versus 4-1.
And Calgary getting a rest. I'm looking forward to that because Calgary might be the second best team in the CFL.
Yeah.
All right.
That Toronto Saskatchewan game, those were the best highlights of the week in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the others were good. I mean, even though Edmonton lost, there was some great highlights from that game. I mean, they played hard, but they just couldn't win. And every game was hard fought. Yeah. There was no beatdowns this week. Everybody was.
I'd say the Elks got a beat down,
but even so, when I watched the highlight package, it's like, man, they had some great plays during that game. Just wasn't enough.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, the CFL standings as of right now: the Toronto Argonauts lead the East with a 3-2 record, followed by the 2-4 Montreal Alouettes, the 1-5 Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the 0-6 Ottawa Red Blacks. Oof. That's all I will say there.
Not many wood cookies being cut up there this season.
No. And if you know what we're talking about, we refer to Randy's history lesson from last week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In the West, it is the 7-0 Winnipeg Blue Bombers way out in front, followed by the 4-1 Calgary Stampeders and the 4-1 British Columbia Lions. Then the 4-3 Saskatchewan Roughriders, followed by the Edmonton Elks at 2-5 to round out the West Division. All right, we're going to move to the Indoor Football League, who had their first round of playoffs this week. Doubleheader on Friday, doubleheader on Friday for the East, which saw the number 3 Quad City Steamwheelers upset the defending champion Massachusetts Pirates 39-38. How about that?
Yeah.
So close game there. And as we got some breaking indoor football news, which we can touch on in a minute, I'll have to click on that. I saw it on my phone. Anyway, then on Friday as well, the number 1 Frisco Fighters defeated the number 4 Iowa Barnstormers, deleting them from the playoffs, 64-39. What a great recovery by me. In the West, we had Saturday-Sunday matchups. The number 2 Northern Arizona Wranglers defeated interstate rival the Tucson Sugar Skulls 49-30 on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the number 1 Arizona Rattlers defeated the number 4 Duke City Gladiators 53-14. That sets up your semifinal matchups next week in the East, which will be played on Friday. The Quad City Steamwheelers will play at the Frisco Fighters. And then on Saturday for the West, it'll be the number 2 Northern Arizona Wranglers versus the number 1 Arizona Rattlers. And boy, 3 of those teams I'm super excited for, but I can't help but root for that underdog Quad City team.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to go see the Quad City Steamwheelers many years ago when they were an AF2 team. And so I've always had a real soft spot for the Quad City Steamwheelers. Nothing against the other teams, but I do like to root for the underdog, so that's who I'm rooting for. It's probably going to be Arizona and Frisco winning next week and playing probably in Arizona for the championship. But man, I'm rooting for Quad City this time around.
And I apologize. I've pulled up the IFL has posted a They have a live video right now. I have no sound on it, so I can't tell you what they're talking about. But they're making some sort of announcement. The speculation is they're announcing a Tulsa team, and as soon as, probably by the end of the show, as we see some official graphic or news item, I'm sure we'll get back to that.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, the National Arena League. It was Week 14 and the end of their regular season. We had a triple header, all 6 teams playing on Saturday. Starting with the Carolina Cobras defeating the Jacksonville Sharks 62-55. Then the Columbus Lions defeated the Orlando Predators in a big old beatdown, 71-14, and Orlando was even shut out in the second half.
Man, how do you do that? Maybe you shut them out for a quarter, but to shut them out in the second half, wow.
Yeah, that's the definition of a beatdown.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, the Albany Empire defeated the San Antonio Gunslingers 61-55, ending their season because, as the final standings will dictate and the playoffs will dictate the playoffs we're about to talk about. Finishing out the regular season standings, the Cobras of Carolina at 9-5, the Albany Empire at 8-4, the Columbus Lions at 7-5, the Jacksonville Sharks at 7-7, the San Antonio Gunslingers, who we were pulling for half the season, at 4-8, and then the Orlando Predators finished at 3-9, setting up their 2 semifinal games in the playoffs, as the Jacksonville Sharks will go to Albany to play the Empire next Saturday, and then the Columbus Lions will travel to Carolina to play the Cobras on Saturday. So there are your games for the National Arena League playoffs. Anything else before we shut down the scoreboard?
No, I just want to say that score of Albany over San Antonio, 61-55. Again, San Antonio put up a heck of a fight, but
just lost by 6 points.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. They wouldn't have made the playoffs anyway.
No, but they were so close.
They had
so
so many
this year.
close games this year.
If they can bring that team back next year and maybe add, like, say if they get a quarterback or somebody from one of these other teams, I don't know what kind of piece they're missing, but you get them over the top. Watch out for the Gunslingers next year in the National Arena League.
Well, if they're scoring that many points, they've obviously got a quarterback that can find his receivers. Maybe they just need more receivers,
or maybe they need a defense to shut down the other team.
There you go. There you go.
All right, and that'll do it for this week's World of Football scoreboard.
All right, let's get into some news. We'll start with the NFL news, and the big news this past week was Arizona quarterback Kyler Murray signing a 5-year contract extension through the year 2028 with the team. The deal is worth $230.5 million, with $160 million being guaranteed. And then includes some homework for him, too. They didn't announce that at first.
No, this kind of came out the day after,
A stipulation to the guaranteed portion of his contract says that Murray is required to spend 4 hours per week in independent study of the game plan.
And that's something he had on his end, him and his agent, had to negotiate or agree to as well. It's not like the team slid that in there without him knowing. So he knows about this.
Right. He had to know about it.
So he had to agree to it.
Signed it. But, that just tells me that maybe they thought that Murray, he's a good quarterback, but maybe he wasn't putting in the work that he needed to be a great quarterback.
Maybe.
And if they're going to spend that much money on him, they want to make sure that he's taking this seriously.
And maybe even it could be on his side. Like, I know I kind of sometimes need an extra push sometimes to maybe do a little extra to maybe get the work done. Some people need that. Maybe that's going to help him.
We'll see.
I hope it helps make him better because I think he's a fantastic young quarterback. I know you have your doubts, but I think
I'm not sold on him just yet.
I don't blame you. I think he's had a lot of great flashes, and he's had some really bad, flashes as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's got the tools to be a fun, unique quarterback. And his size is something that people are gonna look at and be like, oh boy, I don't know if I trust him being that small.
Hey, Doug Flutie is my favorite quarterback.
Doug Flutie did it. Russell Wilson's done it.
Yep.
Drew Brees did it.
So that doesn't matter. It's the
size
talent
doesn't
that you've
matter.
got.
And he's talented. He can run it, throw it. As long as he stays healthy, he is a scary, scary player. And I'm
just not totally sold yet.
I know you're not, but I think he deserved the money. So
okay,
go get paid, son.
All right, another story. Wide receiver Danny Amendola, at the age of 36, has decided he's going to retire from the NFL. He played his college football at Texas Tech, and he signed as an undrafted free agent with the Cowboys in 2008. He played for the St. Louis Rams, New England Patriots, Miami Dolphins, Detroit Lions for 2 years, and his last season with Houston last year. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots when he was there, and he's possibly looking at getting into broadcasting now.
What player doesn't?
I mean, that's.
I like Danny Amendola.
He's got the name recognition.
I can't remember if I thought he would be a great media personality or not. He's one of those guys that I liked. I just don't know if he's booth material or if he's sideline material or in studio material. I have no clue.
Yep.
So we'll see. Best of luck to him. I mean, shoot, you won a couple Super Bowls. I think he had a great career.
Yes, he did.
He's a name that you hear and you know exactly who we're talking about.
One tough player. Wasn't afraid to go over the middle to get a ball.
He definitely made some plays with New England that that I won't forget. I was always kind of thinking, man, if Detroit could get somebody like him on them, and we did for a couple of years, but by then I won't say his talent was shot, but he definitely wasn't the same player he used to be. But
and he was with Detroit and not New England, so there's your difference right there.
Yeah.
But a tough, dependable wide receiver that I think he'll be missed.
Yeah.
A lot of fans will miss seeing him out there on Sundays. Another retirement that came out today, a little bit surprising. Running back Chris Carson retires at the age of 27 due to a neck injury.
Oh, he was
a seventh-round pick by the Seahawks in 2017, and he's played the last 5 seasons in Seattle. So I mean, your health has got to come first. We always say that.
And we're seeing this more and more. We just had a Detroit Lion guy at 25, 20, younger.
Yeah, one of our linemen.
He's only been in the league a couple of years. And he retired for health reasons. So hey, I'm glad that guys are taking that seriously and knowing that it's not all about the money. You got to think about your health. And Carson, he's been a great running back when he can get out there. I think he was a top-tier running back in the NFL before getting hurt. Not a lot of people know him outside of fantasy. And he played in Seattle. And if you're not Marshawn Lynch, I think you don't get that same recognition out there. But Carson was a great running back, so he will be sorely missed.
Yeah, well, no amount of money in the world is going to compensate for your quality of life later on if you play too long when you know that you've got an injury.
You telling me that for $15 million you wouldn't strap on a helmet and go get your ass beat in a football game for one game?
I fell down in a parking lot a couple weeks ago, and I'm still trying to recover from that.
You're still falling down. You literally fell on your front porch the other day.
That's true, I did.
How many falls is that? 2?
I've fallen down twice now.
Oh, boy.
And my mother always used to say, there's not a 2 without a 3. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God, I'm going to fall down again.
Well,
here pretty soon.
We think the 3 was your wife, my mom. She fell
down on the porch, too, the other day,
so
doing the same thing I did.
Sounds like any money we make off this podcast is going straight into either a safety ramp for you guys to get off your porch or some sort of railing.
Well, she got a little bit of a bruise. My second fall was nothing. The first one, man, I had to go to the doctor and get X-rays on my toe, one of my toes, and my knee to make sure there was nothing broken in there because it was bad.
Well, hey, thank goodness you weren't put on the injured list, so you could still make it to the podcast.
Yes. Don't worry, Buttercup. I'm sucking it up, and I'm here. Okay, let's see.
Speaking of sucking it up,
this also came out just a little while ago. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow is getting his appendix removed.
Within the next 48 hours.
Yeah. So
something must have just happened.
Yeah. Your mom had her appendix taken out a few months ago. Well, I guess last fall. Mm-hmm. But, that came out of nowhere, and she was in pretty bad shape. They took that thing out, and she was out of the hospital within a few hours.
Yeah.
I mean, they said, well, you can recover here, or you can just go home and recover. And she said, I want to go home. So, I mean, like within an hour of surgery, I was wheeling her out the door to come home.
So that means if you're Joe Burrow, I mean, come on, Joe Burrow's going to go in. He's going to get this surgery. He'll be fine. He'll probably get a few extra days of rest, Rub
a little dirt on it and go back on the field.
I don't think he'll go right back out on the field. If I were him, I'd take it's only training camp right now.
Right.
Let him just take a couple extra days.
Right.
So, good for Joe, getting that extra couple of days. But hey, seriously, hopefully everything goes fine. I mean, it is just an appendix, so
like I said,
shouldn't have to worry. But you still
it's not a big incision. They can go in and snip that thing out in no time, and you're out of there in no time. Okay, let's see. The Los Angeles Rams got their Super Bowl rings this week. Man, those videos were everywhere of the players with the rings, videos of just the rings, and
Matthew Stafford debuting his new Instagram with a picture of him with his ring and cutting his wife out of the phone.
Cutting his wife out of it. Yeah.
And then when you see why he cut his wife out of the photo,
you've been following his wife for years on Instagram.
Yeah.
Are you following him now that he's got an
Oh,
account?
of course. Everybody's following Matt Stafford now, and his one picture he's posted.
But yeah, he posted it was like half of her face, and you could barely see her shoulder.
Well, you know why?
And then they showed the whole picture, and she's wearing.
She was looking pretty good.
Yeah, but she was proud of it. I don't know if he was embarrassed or
I don't know. I think it was just a funny first picture. He cut his wife out of it. I think it's hilarious.
Maybe he just thought, I want the attention to be on the ring, not your cleavage.
Yeah, but anyway, speaking of that ring though. Did you notice, and I saw somebody bring this up, and I had to look at the ring again. I was like, you're right, because I noticed something at first that was a little off about this ring. Traditionally, when a team gets a Super Bowl ring, they acknowledge past Super Bowl victories. Mm-hmm. Like if the New England Patriots got 6 trophies on their rings, right, for their last Super Bowl. Why did the Los Angeles Rams only put a single Lombardi trophy when they have won a Super Bowl in the city of St. Louis? Is it a conspiracy? Is it because St. Louis sued the NFL? So Los Angeles' subtle way of getting back at St. Louis was saying, we're not going to acknowledge that Super Bowl title on this fancy ring. And put the palm trees on there next to the Lombardi trophy. Because I did think, like, wow, why only one? They've won 2 Super Bowls now. Like, why didn't they acknowledge the other one? And then when that got pointed out, I was like, there's got to be some sort of credence to that, like a little bit of an FU to St. Louis.
I wouldn't doubt it. Oof. I wouldn't doubt that they snubbed St. Louis.
But otherwise, these rings are getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
The fact that you can now
take off the top and see the stadium
and see the stadium, but then the Rams had to take a step further by putting in the Oculus screen from SoFi Stadium in the bottom of the ring. So like when it's all completed, you can see the scoreboard in there, but when you take it out, obviously the scoreboard's on the top of the ring. So just some crazy detail to this ring, and it looks really cool. I'll give them that. Gaudy, sure, but it does look really cool.
It's not the kind of thing you want to wear, like out to dinner or something like that.
Are you kidding? Matt Stafford's wearing this to every dinner for the rest of his life. Some of these dudes fought tooth and nail to get a Super Bowl win. These dudes are going to flaunt it the rest of their life, and then they're even going to lift off the top and be like, see that? And then put it back on. You know it. Tom Brady walks out there with all 8 of his Super Bowl rings, or wherever he's got now.
Yeah, he's got to have 2 people
like
helping
Thanos from the Avengers movies.
But I saw a couple different pictures with the top of the ring off. One showed the field, and it showed the Bengals sideline or the Bengals end zone and the Rams. But then in another one, it showed like there was actually like part of an actual football.
Yeah, one of the game balls was in all the rings. Yeah.
But I didn't. Was that around the field? I couldn't. It was really
I think
weird.
it was around either the inside of the top of the ring. Like
maybe that was inside the top. Okay.
I think it was around the Oculus screen.
Yeah.
Or the image of the Oculus screen. They kind of mimicked the Oculus actual screen. They couldn't fit a whole Oculus thing in the ring. That's something they couldn't do.
It's way too over the top, and it's only going to get worse. I can't imagine.
Wait till the Detroit Lions finally get a Super Bowl ring. That thing is going to be... I hope it's the gaudiest of the gaudy.
Now there'll be wristbands. It'll be like a watch that you put on.
No, it's going to look like the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm telling you. It's just going to be a whole stick and glove.
Jeez.
Wait till it's going to get so bad in the future that it's going to be like a big old like medieval knight suit of armor.
Yeah. All right. The New York Jets are going to wear an alternate black helmet 3 times this fall, something they're calling stealth black.
Boo.
And I don't like this.
It is the worst. I think this... Hold on. This was the worst alternate helmet I saw until one of the next teams unveiled theirs. So, okay, I'm already sick of the alternate black helmets because you don't have every team on here. So we'll just rattle through them. All week there's been a different team, it seems, every day that announces some sort of alternate
I'm tired
helmet.
of it.
It's hard to keep up with, and I love the helmets, but this trend of all of them are just doing like these black helmets.
Or a white helmet.
Well, usually it's kind of to coincide with their color rush uniform. So I did see a article over on UniWatch, which is a great little site. They talk about uniforms and stuff. How I was also under the impression that these helmets would be something special, something unique, and they would like change the design of like their logo. Like for the Bears added their all orange uniform.
Right, orange helmet.
A lot of people are disappointed because it was just an inverse color of the letter C on the side of the helmet. So an orange shell with a black C. a lot of people were like, why aren't we throwing the bear logo, like of the bear face that we've had for years? Why aren't we putting that on a helmet? Like, that should be the point of these alternate helmets. It should be like, sure, having the helmet shell match the uniform. I'm a big uniform junkie. I say that all the time. So I love that sort of stuff, and I get it, but I'm disappointed because I too think, yeah, do something special with it. Do like I know a lot of people hate it, and you especially hate Oregon.
I hate change.
You hate Oregon doing
a different combination.
Different combination, but if the NFL is going to limit it to 1 or 2 extra helmets or whatever they're doing, I think the helmet rules, they can have as many as they want. Apparently, I think I'm not sure, but I thought it would be cooler if you just had a different design, like just put the bear logo on there that you've never had on a helmet before. That would be cool. That'd be your nice, cool one-off helmet. If you're the like some other teams, like the Ravens have always had the Raven on their helmet. What if they do that Baltimore shield they always put on like their shoulders? Like something like that. Like do something slightly different, but instead it's just, hey, it's the same helmet, but all black or all white or what have you. And some of them work and some of them don't. And right now it just looks like this trend of all black helmets is just annoying.
Yeah.
And we got finally the breaking IFL news. If you want to get to that after the NFL news, we'll talk about that. So,
all right, let's hold off on that.
But
so I think there's 13 helmets so far.
Yeah, so what did we add this week? So this week we added the New York Jets black, the stealth black.
Yeah.
Thumbs down from me.
Yeah.
The Bears unveiled their orange helmets. Thumbs down from me. That is the worst one so far. The Cowboys made the official announcement that they're going to do those white throwback helmets that they did in 2012 was the last time I think they wore them on Thanksgiving games, which I'm fine. I love that Cowboys uniform.
Yeah,
but
it's
then,
part of their team history.
Yes. But then they also added, supposedly, I haven't seen this officially, but the NFL official Twitter / Instagram page shared all the different helmets thus far. And there was another Cowboys helmet on it. It's like the regular Cowboy design, but on a white helmet. I have not seen that officially announced anywhere. I have seen the throwback, but I have not seen that officially announced. So I'm still kind of waiting to get clarification on that.
The throwback is a solid star.
Yes.
Whereas the
other
alternate
one,
helmet
this mysterious helmet,
is their current star with the outline around it.
With just the white helmet shell.
Right.
So, yeah, that's one confused me. Then we also had the Arizona Cardinals unveil a black helmet.
That's right.
But theirs is cool. I like the idea of theirs.
Black with a red flex.
It's going to have the red flex in it because it reminds me of the Jaguars when they did their black helmets, but they had the blue specks in it. So if the lights hit the helmets in a certain way, I think it'll look fine. I think that at least sticks out. So I think those are all the up-to-date NFL helmet changes as of right now. I'm sure.
There's probably going to be more, and I don't like what they've done already, so I don't think I'm going to like.
Don't worry, we'll do a full breakdown video in the future. I want to do every new alternate helmet before the season starts and rank them, but that's just me. Anyway, so
they're all in last place as far as I can say.
So enough helmet talk. Let's move on to the next story.
All right, this is a bit of a sad story here. Texans rookie wide receiver John Mechie III revealed that he has leukemia, and it's unlikely that he's going to play this season. He's hoping to be back next year. Mechie was selected in the second round of this year's NFL draft out of Alabama.
And the Texans traded up to get him. So they wanted this guy bad. They traded draft capital. I forget how much they traded away to get up to him. They at least a couple of picks in the second and third round, maybe. I could be wrong. But they traded away stuff to get him. And man, what a bummer. I mean, one, I'm glad they put out a great statement. You know, the Texans are fully behind the guy.
Right.
So good for them, at least doing this PR thing right for a change. And, of course, obviously our thoughts are with Mechie III.
Sure, yeah.
Because I hate seeing a young player it was going to be his first year in the league. And have this kind of come out is really sad. And we just wish him the best and a speedy recovery and through this process.
Didn't he get injured when he was at Alabama?
He was one of the, I think it was the SEC championship game he got hurt during. Because then Jamison Williams, the Lions rookie wide receiver, got hurt during the national championship. So he's already coming back from an injury, and then to have this on top of it, I mean, man, thoughts with this kid.
Yeah. Hopefully he can come back next year and play. You know, I guess the form of leukemia that he has is the most treatable.
Okay, that's
I read
silver
that
linings.
Somewhere. Yeah, so I guess that's the only good thing you can take away from this. So hopefully he can get treated for it, and maybe next year, he'll be back. Hopefully that does happen.
And hopefully sooner, man. Wouldn't it be great if he could come back this year. I'm not saying he will, but man, what a great story that would be.
I wouldn't rush it.
I'm not going to rush him either, but I'm just saying what a great story that would be.
Okay, finally in NFL news, the NFL has debuted or released something called NFL Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's got a plus. You got your ESPN Plus and Disney Plus and
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, everything's got a plus.
Everything's got a plus.
So the NFL is releasing their own streaming service called NFL Plus. This is a platform where you can watch local and primetime games on your phone or tablet, and I think it's exclusively for your phone or tablet.
But there's some debate because, like I said before we hit record, I have the Apple TV, and I downloaded yesterday the NFL app on there. And I was like, okay, let's see what it says. And I was kind of reading through the NFL, and it worked. It does work for Apple Plus. I could pay the premium price, either the $5 a month or the $39 for the year, whatever. Mm. And it supposedly works on the Apple TV. I've been waiting to give it a trial run because I want to actually see it with games. Like right now, it's just NFL Network stuff.
Right.
So until we start getting actual regular season games, I'll probably try it out just to experience the service and see if it's actually going to be worth it, and if it'll actually play on an Apple TV plugged into a TV.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard if this is going to be replacing what they used to have, the NFL All Access.
Yeah, whatever it was on their NFL.com where you could pay.
You pay so much. I had it free for a while as a trial thing, and you could get NFL film stuff, you could get documentaries, anything that's been put out about the NFL, you could get access to. If you wanted to search through that vast library, which was kind of cool. But so I don't know if the All Access is still going to be out there, if this is just something strictly to watch games on your phone or tablet, and maybe the All Access is still out there. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out after a while. But that's it for our NFL news. I really didn't have any college news, but I just remembered that we were going to do this story about the University of Miami doing away with their turnover chain.
They're getting rid of the turnover chain.
And because their new coach didn't like it. So it was the new coach's decision to do away with the turnover chain.
Well, good for him.
They've been doing that for what, 5, 6, 7 years?
From 2017 to 2022,
okay.
so 5 seasons.
It seems like they were the first ones to do something like that. And this big gaudy chain with the college logo on it. If you got an interception or a turnover or whatever, you got to go to the sideline and put this huge thing around your neck and parade around. And then everybody got into the act. Yeah. Everybody's got something. Wasn't there a...
there was a turnover thrown.
Yeah, but we did a thing where an FCS team had a turnover hat and cane. Do you remember that?
I think I remember that.
A top hat and cane, based on their I can't even remember what school that was, but based on their mascot that looked like that.
That one.
But it just got ridiculous with all these schools coming up with something.
I thought they did away with it mainly because of the NIL thing, like. The turnover chain was a lot of like gimmicky stuff, and now that these players are getting paid and all that, now we don't really need to be,
ostentatious,
trying to get the spotlight on us on the sideline, whatever. I don't know, but good for them. I always thought the turnover stuff was stupid. Yeah, but whatever.
No, I did read that it was the new coach, and then a few years ago, the new coach at the University of Michigan before Harbaugh, can't even remember who that was, did away with the number 1 jersey for the wide receiver.
It wasn't Rich Rodriguez. It was Brady Hoke.
Was it? Okay.
Brady Hoke.
But he did away with the number 1 jersey for the wide receiver. And, Anthony Carter wore number 1. It's like your best receiver always wore number 1 on the field. And Harbaugh brought that back when he took over. So that's back. So who knows how long this will go. But, yeah, I didn't care for it. So I'm personally glad to see it go.
All right, and that breaking Indoor Football League news, they are adding an expansion team in 2023 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, kind of what we were thinking. So they made it official. Okay. We will be seeing a team in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. So could we see the return of the Tulsa Talons? They've been stealing a lot of those arena names.
Yeah. Who knows? They might have a name the team contest like a lot of these things do, and maybe the fans will want to bring back the Tulsa Talons. Who knows? Okay, XFL news. They finally unveiled the 8 cities that they're going to play in next season. Next season. Gone are the LA Wildcats, the New York Guardians, which you got a hat from the Guardians.
I got a hat and shirt. They were my team.
And the Tampa Bay Vipers, which I thought was awful.
Yeah,
they
they
were an awful logo, awful green colors. But the Guardians I liked. The Wildcats, they were kind of like red and yellow. You could take them or leave them. We were going to go see them too. We were going to see St. Louis and L.A.
Yeah.
The Wildcats play, and then COVID ended their season a couple of years ago. But those three teams are gone. They're going to be replaced by the cities of Orlando, Las Vegas, and San Antonio. Yep. So that's kind of good.
3 Texas teams now.
Yeah. So Orlando is going to be coached by Terrell Buckley. The Las Vegas team is going to be coached by Rod Woodson, and the San Antonio team is going to be coached by Hines Ward. Now the returning cities or they're calling it Arlington, but it was Dallas before. It's same thing. Arlington/Dallas. That's going to be coached by Bob Stoops. You've got a team in Houston that's going to be coached by Wade Phillips, whose father was a big Bum Phillips. He coached the Houston Oilers for a long time. Then you've got Seattle, where Jim Haslett's going to be the head coach. And their offensive coordinator is going to be June Jones, the great June Jones from the USFL and the Houston Gamblers and the run-and-shoot offense and all that. So he's still around. And then St. Louis is coming back, and that coach is going to be Anthony Becht. And finally, Washington, D.C., and that's going to be coached by Reggie Barlow. So those are your 8 cities. They named some of the stadiums. I didn't recognize all the stadiums. The Las Vegas team is trying to get the rights to play in the Allegiant Stadium there. I don't know if that's going to happen. Of course, that the St. Louis team is going to be playing where the St. Louis Rams used to play,
I think
the Dome.
Called, yeah,
and a few other ones they might be in like soccer stadiums or something. I'm not sure. So, but that we had been expecting this news for some time, but it finally came out just a day or so ago. So yeah, we now know the 8 cities for the XFL next year. Will they bring back some of the names from the returning cities, or will they come up with new names and new logos? I would think that they've already got names and logos and uniforms for the returning cities.
Yeah, but are they going for another true reboot and starting fresh?
Who knows? Yeah, Dwayne Johnson and his partner there, Danny Garcia, may want to come up with all new names by themselves. So who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I wish they'd bring back the Las Vegas Outlaws,
that was
the
logo.
Original, and it was a great helmet too.
And
that LV on a gold helmet.
I like
that
the
was
Orlando
awesome.
Rage. I would love if they brought the Orlando Rage back.
Yeah.
Kind of mixed a little bit of the old
Sure.
and the new
Sure.
XFL. So
give a nod to the original.
We'll see. If not, I'm fine with a whole fresh set of logos. And you know me, I'm a sucker for logos and
we'll see.
all that stuff.
Just more helmets I've got to try and collect.
Yeah. You don't even have the new XFL helmets yet.
No, I don't.
They never
have
even
any of
sold those, I don't think.
I don't know if I saw any of them or
I
not.
had to get a custom set.
I got almost all the AAF helmets, thanks to you and your brother.
Yeah, we're missing just a couple.
Yep. All right, let's move on to Arena Football TV on YouTube. Another great game they posted from the 2005 season. It's a rematch of Arena Bowl 15, the Nashville Cats at the Grand Rapids Rampage. You and I were at this game.
Yeah.
And, I remember I was covering it from the press box, and I went and found my article. You can still find it on Arena Fan under original content for that particular game, how they went, what the final score was, and who had a great game and all that. Yeah. So, I remember that game. The video, however, begins in the second quarter, so they don't have the entire game, but from then on, they've got the rest of the game.
Some arena football is better than arena football.
I know. But, Michael Bishop was the quarterback for Grand Rapids at that time, and, great memories.
I think that was part of that stretch where he was really rushing up a storm that season. He was...
Was that the season he rushed for 100 yards in a game? It wasn't this game. But
it wasn't this game, but
it might have been that season. I can't remember.
He was like on a hot streak where every week it seemed like he was getting 50, 60, 70 yards rushing in an arena game, and it was a big deal. So
that was unusual because arena quarterbacks really didn't run that much, and the fullbacks didn't run much either. It was just mainly pass. But
when you saw a fullback, it was for a 2-yard touchdown. Right. It was awesome.
Yeah, we need 1 yard.
Bob
so
McMillan or Chris Avery from the Rampage were the 2 greatest arena fullbacks of all time.
Yep. All right, moving on to today's birthdays. July 26th, defensive end and defensive tackle Bob Lilly turns 83 years old today. He played his college football at TCU, and he was the 13th overall pick in the 1961 NFL Draft by the Dallas Cowboys. But he was also a second-round pick in the 1961 AFL draft by the Dallas Texans. So both teams in Dallas wanted Bob Lilly. And, of course, he chose to sign with the Cowboys and spent 14 seasons, his entire career with the Cowboys from 1961 to 1974. He won a Super Bowl with the team, Super Bowl VI, and he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1980. So great career for Bob Lilly. The other Bob that has a birthday today is Bob Waterfield. Born on this date in 1920, he passed away in 1983 at the age of 62. He played his college football at UCLA and was selected in the 5th round of the 1944 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Rams. He played 8 NFL seasons from 1945 to 1952, all with the Rams. 1 year in Cleveland, and then they moved to LA, so he was with the Rams his whole time. He won 2 NFL titles, one with Cleveland in 1945, his rookie season, and one with LA in 1951. His number 7 jersey was retired by the Rams in 1952, and he was married to actress Jane Russell from 1943 to 1968. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1965. Are you familiar with Jane Russell?
I am not.
She was in, was it Gentlemen Prefer Blondes with Marilyn Monroe? The two of them were the
as
big
big
stars.
as a Marilyn Monroe fan as I am, I have not seen all of her movies.
Yeah, she was a big Hollywood star, and he was married to her. And the Pro Football Researchers Association just produced a book on the 1951 Rams, and so Bob Waterfield was featured in that book prominently for his role that season. Okay, let's move on to some obituaries. There were a ton of obituaries this week, but I whittled it down to 4 that we're going to read today.
Any of the other ones you could find on theworldoffootball.com?
Yes, the other ones I did write up a little write-up on each one of them, and you can find those on our website under the news section. But the first obituary today is that of Doug Mitchell, a former commissioner of the Canadian Football League. He has passed away at the age of 83. Mitchell was the 6th commissioner of the CFL from 1984 to 1988. He attended Colorado College on a hockey scholarship. He then went on to attend the University of British Columbia, where he played football while earning a bachelor's degree in law, and he graduated there in 1962. Mitchell played both offense and defense for the University of British Columbia, and played briefly in the CFL for the British Columbia Lions in 1960. U Sports, which is the Canadian equivalent to the NCAA up there, named a National College Football semifinal game after him, the Mitchell Bowl, which I've known about the Mitchell Bowl for years. I did not know who that was named after. Now I do. Mitchell is a member of the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame and Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. He's also been named to the Alberta Order of Excellence and the Order of Canada. Mitchell was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame as a builder in 2021.
All right, our next obituary is that of Jim Dillard, a running back in the Canadian Football League for 7 seasons and has passed away at the age of 83. Dillard played college football at Oklahoma State and was selected in the 4th round of the 1962 NFL Draft by the Baltimore Colts. He was selected in the 9th round of the 1962 AFL Draft by the Oakland Raiders. He chose, however, to sign with the CFL's Calgary Stampeders, where he played from 1962 to 1964. He also played for the Ottawa Rough Riders from 1965 to 1966, and then the Toronto Argonauts from 1967 to 1968.
Our next obituary is that of Jim Lynch, a linebacker in the NFL for 11 seasons. He has passed away at the age of 76. Lynch played his college football at Notre Dame and was selected in the 2nd round of the 1967 NFL Draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. He played his entire career with the Chiefs from 1967 to 1977 and won Super Bowl IV as a member of the Chiefs team.
All right, and our final obituary this week is that of Charlie Johnson, a wide receiver in the NFL for 9 seasons, has passed away at the age of 50. Johnson played college football at Colorado and was selected with the 17th overall selection in the 1994 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I might have had a football trading card of him. He played for the Steelers from 1996 to 1998. He also played for the Philadelphia Eagles in 1999 and 2000. Then he played for the Patriots in 2001 and then the Buffalo Bills in 2002, and he ended up winning a Super Bowl with that 2001 Patriots team. So, 50. What a young age to be honest.
They didn't really say what the cause was. I think they just found him unresponsive in a hotel room.
Sad.
So I don't know. We might learn something later on. All right. Any other breaking news before we go on to the history lesson?
No, as of right now, things seem all
no more
quiet.
stupid helmets being
God, I'm waiting.
recolorized.
I'm waiting for that Lions alternate
Oh God.
see-through helmet.
No.
What if like how back in the day they used to do those disco shoes with the fish in the heel? What if the Dolphins or somebody was just crazy enough to do a clear football helmet with a goldfish in it as a joke? Did you see the NFL meme about the Browns alternate helmet?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
white helmet.
With just the Browns helmet on it?
With the Browns orange helmet on it, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think it'd be hilarious if the Browns actually tried it out for a practice with that helmet on. Would that not be the greatest troll of all time? Okay. That'd be great. Anyway, what are we doing now?
Yeah. All right, we're going to go into this week's history lesson.
We're going to talk about the Incredible Hulk.
Yes, we are. This week's history lesson is the time that the Incredible Hulk...
Wait, which Incredible Hulk?
The original Incredible Hulk.
Oh, you're talking about Eric Bana?
No.
Oh,
that.
You mean the original in the MCU, which was played by Edward Norton?
No.
Okay, well, it's not Mark Ruffalo. Well, who is it?
This is back to the TV time. Well, listen, my son, and you shall hear of the story of the first Incredible Hulk. The time the Incredible Hulk donned the uniform of the Canadian Football League's Toronto Argonauts. Many football fans, especially young ones, think of their favorite football players as superheroes. Well, there was a time when one Marvel superhero actually tried out for a pro football team. Bodybuilder Lou Ferrigno was born on November 9, 1951, in Brooklyn, New York. He began working out and lifting weights when he was a teenager. In 1973, he won the titles of Mr. America and Mr. Universe. Ferrigno was featured in a documentary that was released in 1977 called Pumping Iron, along with fellow bodybuilder Arnold Schwarzenegger. But in 1976, Ferrigno was not making much money in bodybuilding, so he took a job in a sheet metal factory. Then an opportunity arose to try out for a professional football team. This was totally unexpected because Ferrigno had never played organized football before in his life. The Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League wanted him to try out as a defensive lineman on the team. At 6'5" and 285 pounds, he thought he would give it a shot. He was in Canada for about a month working out with the team, but he was cut after only 2 games. He never saw any game action. In an interview in 2011, Ferrigno recalled that he had a great time while he was up in Canada, but he didn't like all the hitting required in playing the game. Ferrigno went on to star in the TV series The Incredible Hulk for 5 seasons, from 1977 to 1982. He played the Hulk opposite Bill Bixby's portrayal of Dr. David Banner. Ironically, in a Season 2 episode called Killer Instinct, the Hulk made an appearance during a football game at the L.A. Coliseum. The 2 fictional teams, the L.A. Cougars and an unnamed team from Memphis, looked surprisingly like the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns. Some actual NFL footage of the Bears and Browns was even used during the show. One of the defensive players on the LA team was out to seriously injure the opposing team's quarterback when the Hulk ran out onto the field. He threw the defensive player over his shoulder and started running towards the end zone, stiff-arming every player that got in his way. He even pushed down the goalpost, in slow motion, of course. Ferrigno went on to appear in many TV shows and movies over the years. On TV, he appeared on shows including Night Court, The Fall Guy, and The King of Queens. He also starred as Hercules in a 1983 movie and appeared in Sharknado 3 in 2015. He has also done a lot of voiceover work as well. He has done the voice of the Hulk in a couple of recent Marvel movies. Lou Ferrigno has had an incredible career in bodybuilding and in television and movies. but it just goes to show that being a real-life football player is not as easy as you might think, even for someone who has played the Hulk and Hercules.
You know, the only thing that would have made that history lesson any better, I mean, it was already great, but it would have made it better, is if you would have done your Stan Lee impression the entire time when talking about the Incredible
I don't
Hulk.
have a Stan Lee impression.
We'll get one, because I think you should have done that. That's the only thing that would have enhanced this experience.
Well, I showed you the footage from the old TV
yeah, oh yeah,
series.
you sat me down and I watched this clip.
I found that online, and I thought that was great, the way the Hulk's on a it was the LA Coliseum, you know. That's where they filmed it.
Throwing football players around like they're
yeah,
rag
oh
dolls.
man, he's carrying a guy over his shoulder. He's stiff arming everybody, pushing people out of the way.
See, you couldn't see the Hulk in the Marvel movies today doing that, so
Everything's too animated. This guy, this was all him. They just painted him up green. It was all his own muscles. I just saw a video of him. He's 70 years old,
Yeah.
and he still has arms like you cannot believe.
he's got bazookas
He
for arms.
works out every day. He's got.
He still looks great.
He does. He does. You wouldn't. When he said he was 70, I could not believe.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
Because he does. He really looks good. I think he looks better at his age than Arnold Schwarzenegger looks at his age.
Ooh, you know,
But,
I can't argue with you that one.
But no, that was an interesting story.
Why'd you have to drag Arnold into this, man?
All right, upcoming events calendar. Thursday, August 4th, the Pro Football Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Las Vegas Raiders. We only have one more podcast before that game is being played. Our next podcast is the second, 2 days before this game. So looking forward to what. I always love watching the kickoff to the season. You know, if I don't watch anything else, I watch the Hall of Fame game kickoff.
I've always kind of been nostalgic for the Hall of Fame game, but in recent years, it's just preseason just doesn't do anything for me. Just give me to the regular season. Thank goodness we're only dealing with 3 games now, but still, get me to the regular season. That's all I want.
But would you go to a Hall of
No, I
Fame
would
game
not.
if Detroit were playing in it?
Yes, I would. That's the only way you're ever again going to drag me to a preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, I just soon watch it on TV. And
Or if it was like in Canada or something. It was in a special location I could see doing a preseason game. But no, I will never go to Ford Field for a preseason game. Never again.
Okay. And then after that, Tuesday, August 9th, Major League Football's inaugural season begins.
I don't think it's going to happen still.
I still haven't seen a whole lot about that.
That's why I don't believe it's going to, I don't think it exists.
We'll see. Jerry Glanville keeps saying it's going to happen. He's one of the head coaches of the 4 teams. So we shall see very quickly. Saturday, August 13th, the IFL championship game is going to be played in Las Vegas. Man, I hope that the Quad City Steamwheelers are in that.
I just want a good game. Give me Clint Dolzell and those Frisco Fighters. Like, if I had to make a prediction, give me the Frisco Fighters.
He's not with the Frisco Fighters anymore.
Is he not? I thought he was still...
No, he's not the head coach of Frisco anymore.
Oh, well, I take that back. Down with the Frisco Fighters then.
And Thursday, September 8th, the NFL regular season begins with a game in Los Angeles between the Bills and the Rams.
This better be a great game. This better be a shootout to start the season.
If this is a huge disappointment, that's going to disappoint a lot of people.
Josh Allen versus
looking
Matt
for
Stafford.
the greatest opening night ever of an NFL season, and it has that possibility.
It's got the Super Bowl champs against a team that I think a lot of people are kind of
should have been in the Super Bowl.
Should have been, but I think a lot of people are thinking the Bills might be the team to beat this year. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he's something else.
Bills fans think they're
they think that, yeah. Don't mess with Bills Mafia, man. Don't mess with them. Don't do it. We're so close to finishing this podcast. We don't need Bills Mafia crashing in on our tables in here.
Okay. Anything else?
As I check my phone one last time, no breaking news, no new helmets, no new contracts, no new retirements.
Well, that'll all happen in the next 30 minutes after
I
we
did
sign
get a
off.
package delivered, so I need to go get that at some point.
Well, don't let me go out and get it because I might fall out on the porch again, tripping over a package. All right. Well, that's all the time we've got for this week. If you learned something during this podcast about the incredible amount of diversity and the Incredible Hulk that exists in the world of football, then we've done our job. Visit our website at theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, videos, and more. Our email address is info@theworldoffootball.com.
You can also like The World of Football on Facebook at TWOF Kalamazoo. You can also follow our Twitter account, which is at TWOF Kalamazoo. New episodes of this very podcast are posted every Tuesday and are available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and you can find the full audio version on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is The World of Football Kalamazoo, if you want to find us there. We dropped a video last night of Randy talking about his 5 go-to football books.
Yes, books that maybe are not well known to the average football fan, but I have them in my collection. I think each one of them is awesome, and I think everybody should be reading these particular books because they really have a lot to tell football fans, things that you would not know. One of them was about the 1903 high school football team from Benton Harbor, Michigan. Who's writing about football in 1903? You might be able to get some old dusty books on the shelf somewhere, but this was a book that was, written, I forget the year. Yeah, I'd have to check the video myself. But yeah, it was a great book based on actual events and pictures of actual players from 1903 in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Just really great book. So I got 5 books, one for college, high school, CFL, arena football, and the NFL that people probably have not heard of before.
Yeah,
but
so
they should check them out.
Go check the video out. I put a lot of work into editing that stinking thing for him.
Yes, you
did. Yeah. Please subscribe, rate, review. Let us know what you guys think. Leave a comment. We would love to have you guys be a part of the football conversation. We love being able to talk with people about football. I had a big conversation today about somebody who didn't know much about the Canadian Football League, so I had a fun time explaining the Canadian League.
Educating them, enlightening them.
Or just looking like a complete buffoon trying to explain a new league to them.
Well, you could be lying out your butt and he wouldn't know because he doesn't know anything about it.
What do you mean they got 12 guys on the field? You're yanking my chain. What do you mean? 3 downs? Okay, now you're really making it up. A 55-yard line? Okay, yeah, I'm done. This sounds ridiculous. This doesn't sound real. Yeah. The goalpost is at the front of the end zone. 20-yard end zones. Yeah. Wood cookies. There you go. That's another reference to your thing from last week.
You just got to pull out your phone and show somebody a picture of that. You can't imagine. To me, a Canadian Football League field has to be seen in person, like the Grand Canyon. I mean, I've been to the Grand Canyon. I've been to the Grand Canyon.
Put that on a postcard.
The Grand Canyon does not. Pictures of the Grand Canyon do not do it justice. You have to go there and experience the Grand Canyon to really appreciate how great the Grand Canyon is. And Canadian football field, until you see it in person, you see it on TV and it's like, well, that doesn't look that much different. No, you go there and you see that huge field and those huge end zones and that 55-yard line. You know you're not in Kansas anymore when you see that.
You're in Canada, and I would
right.
hope you know you're in Canada. Better health care up there, too.
Well, I wouldn't say better, but it's different.
Better, I think, is the definitive word. Anyway, we're trying to wrap this show up.
Yes. And remember, folks, some people may love football more than we do. Yeah, right. But nobody loves more football than we do.
If you couldn't tell by the tangent we literally just went on.
Yeah. Until next time, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm Adam Snow.
We'll see you all next week.